right, y'all. This is RTTI in New York City. This is Sistah Saroja's call. This is PMP1, a.k.a. Saroja. I dearly call her Sistah Saroja, and this is her podcast. This is her series. We would be entering now, I believe, episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to pass the floor over now to Sistah Saroja. Sistah Saroja, you can go into whatever you want as far as your documentation of your targeting or whatever else you desire to talk about, educate the public at large that listens to your call. You have a loyal group of listeners, a small little group, but a group nonetheless that was looking forward to your 4th installment. If you'd like, you can go into what you were telling me from the beginning. How's it been going on over there with the targeting, or however else you desire to go about doing it. It's at your discretion. Sistah Saroja, you have the floor.
Believable, because this is just unheard of, meaning
Hello.
that's the feeling that is rapport built up that they're good, but it seems them on the targeting with me, there seem to be a number of people around me that follow me. Don't assume that, okay, it's what I could be assuming. No. There is a interactive level of a torture to me. Interactive meaning, say, for example, in front of my home, directly across there is somebody. Another targeted individual has installed a few applications on my phone that can my internet connection in my phone. How many people have connected with it and where they are located. It can show a place where they are located, though sometimes they are hiding their identification just to nearby water body, but we can figure that out. So directly across there is a person, and my phone says that where, in what exact building he or she is in, it shows that. So, and my thing comes directly from there. So this person, they're so interactive. Or I type in my communication with, say, WhatsApp or something. They are with it. If I talk in the phone, if I say something, that they don't like, and the torture is going to be higher. So yesterday, I wrote something about it.
Sistah Saroja, they're doing it again.
Nothing was recorded at all?
I believe some of the stuff you said was being recorded, but then they did it again where the last things that you were saying, apparently they don't want you to talk about whatever you were just talking about just now, because you muted it completely. So what we'll do is we won't continue to start over completely. We'll just pick up where you last left off. Like the couple of sentences that you said last, if you can remember them, repeat them again and just make sure we get that on the record and go from there. How's that sound, sister?
Okay.
Okay, you good.
All right. So we continue our torture targeting. The torture targeting now, somebody has familiarized with few applications on the cell phone to put them on, and that will tell me who has been hacked, who has hacked into my internet, and where that person located. So to me, to my cell phone, there's one person in west coast of California that is all the way to India, right? I'm in Bangalore area. And there's one person in east coast, which is in Virginia. Virginia and California, there are two places who hack into me. And they're in
Sister, they're doing it again.
country hacking into my cell phone. And it is not the power line where, okay, my calls are being bounced off. No, they're calling. Another suggestion was given to me, the internal way of checking into, using a command prompt, checking up whether I am connected with some other networks. So we checked, and the computer shows true to be connected to FBI. FBI, it has an ASN, or they have their and that's true.
Can you repeat what you last said, sister? They're doing it again to your voice. They're muting you. Hello? Sistah Saroja, I'm going to call you back, okay? Hold on a second. All right, so we're gonna pause real quick, and then I'm going to call Sistah Saroja back because apparently there's an issue with the line.
The physical goes to, or that my lower leg gets, only the call got out, but everything else is in. RT?
Yes.
Only the call got out, but what else I said was is in?
Yeah, pretty much. You have to pick up where you last left off.
1 second. So, burning. I'm talking about burning. Okay. All right.
Hello.
So, yeah. So the current torture that's been going on with me is that they are hosing some energy or air to my legs. The leg always burns. Burns means the external skin. It kind of withers. It doesn't want to get exposed. It just withers, and they are constantly hosing. And then my body is getting lean. That legs are getting lean. And if I scratch and if there is some bleeding, because of their air, that also quickly dries out. Dries out meaning it's like just different. It dries out and they're making it lean. So there is something that they have, almost like an anhydrous chemical that they spray on the legs. So the blood is sucked up. Even if there is no open wound, still the life inside of it, or the waterness is getting sucked up. So that is what they're doing, and that kind of burning or drying, what it's doing is that it is making different kinds of scars on my feet, and all over they are there. If these days our cell phones are built not to show the blemishes so much, to make somebody look good or something, they've been doing it for all recent cell phones. But if I hold it to my feet and to my leg, lower part of the leg, all over tibia, there are different layers of scars now. So this is very bad. Meaning, if they're doing that to me, they could kill someone very easily, And my scars that were there with the accident, they are like so dark because they're drying and burning. It's just it's unbelievable. So general public, the doctors, they're not aware of this. Like when these folks, they kind of do a laser drilling to my leg or the knees when I'm asleep. But by the morning, I see it. But they quickly, for just few seconds, if they hose this air over, that wound doesn't look like it was made just today. It looks like it was made maybe a couple days ago or a day ago, something like that. So that stuff is real. The other thing they're doing, last Sunday, I had severe headaches. My cousin, who's helping me out, she also says that she's having severe headaches, severe acidity that she never had. So I was just, telling her, giving her these things. But it happened to me on Sunday. Sunday and another half day. I'm like, like that to prevent them doing that. But that sort of stuff continued for a day and a half, where I would feel like nauseated and I would feel like I want to vomit. And then after that, then it got subsided. Okay, that's fine. And then I was moving along. But then when I put my hand over my, top, but the rear side of the head, the skull, there is a ridge there. So there is a ridge to the skull. So in other words, when this electromagnetic field has the capability to break your skull without you feeling it much about it. Like if, like ordinarily people would think that they would have to take some chiseling and something to break the skull open. But here's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that the electromagnetic force, I don't know what all they're doing. It will pull your skull apart, or it will directly hit and then crack your skull open. So, and this is not the first time this has happened to me. It happened earlier, and I felt it, and I have showed it to people and all that. So this definitely, I can show it to people. Don't think everything is all invisible. Okay, no. As I told you, there are applications who can show you where our cell phone is getting hacked. And I told you how to ping certain computer numbers, and if you ping it, it shows that you are connected. Like say FBI, NSA, they're connected to my cell phone. And there is something, if you type, it will tell all of the targeted areas around you in the map. It will show you in the map and their names and their addresses. That is there. And the people who have hacked into my line, it's sent back from India to East Coast California or this Virginia or even Malaysia and then Australia. They're all hacking into my cell line. There is no need. And all of the targeted individuals can show this. So this is not just in your head anymore. That's what I was trying to tell you. So So I told you they're holding certain air which dries you completely alive. It dries you. Meaning my calf area, which is like a size, it will reduce. My length of my bone will reduce. The muscle mass will reduce, and all that. And then the effect of it, maybe that's fast forwarding for me. Maybe that's why it is up. So the external skin is always burning. It's flaky with the burn. And if I scratch it will can make the cramp of my muscles. So in the entire calf, they wring it out, and by doing so, they're taking the youth out of it, meaning the fat and stuff out of it. And by the time, they do it when you are asleep because your consciousness is hijacked, so you don't know. But by the morning when I wake up, that calf part is like loose. It is loose. It is not my original solid calf. So I know that they're draining me out. So that's another thing that I talked about. I talked about the head being, it's the electromagnetic field, the skull, they break open. And we are nauseated because when they're breaking open, some internal bleeding is going on. That makes me nauseated. And then occasionally you want to puke because it's real bleeding. That's when you poop. So they are doing that. So these things are going on. In India, we are trying to reach out, and I'm trying to do some write-up as to complain. The understanding is that India has the joint connection, this action, this surveillance kind of thing. Up until 2004, they bought the instrumentations from U.S., but then after that, India has built on its own. Say, for example, one is called like Samyukta. And India also has their own central nervous system that is called CMS. So India also has NSA, our own NSA. Our own NSA, if it has to do something, it will then request a court. With the court's approval, it proceeds through. But CMS does not need permission. So it goes to anybody it wants to. And before, we didn't have our police force that showing their presence, and now there's traffic police is going around in the vehicle, just like in U.S. And they're going around showing their presence, and they are growing in numbers, meaning India is becoming the governance oriented. So far, people were there, police occasionally whenever we call, they get to it. But now, hiding is way too much. And our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, is probably somehow under the influence. That is what I believe so. Don't think that's crazy, because when somebody's under the influence, you wouldn't even know if they are. Because when I am in the night, I'm trying to do something, they hijack my memory, that they make these kind of shocks in the air to my body or to my brain. What it does is it gives immediate shock, zoom to our central nervous system, and immediately you're out. And when you are out, when they bring back, what they're doing for me, it's very split second they're doing everything with big shock, and my body is like, attention is out, and then immediately they release, and so it comes back. So they know how that is, in some way. But, and then generally in the night, they're trying to take me out when I am sitting on a stool to tie up myself to I am, these just wrapping around my calf, around my head, because I don't want them to, cut open and then put a neural link, from this guy, who has built all these things. So I am trying some way around so that they wouldn't be able to open it, even if they do the surgery through the energy. So I am opening it. I'm not opening it, I'm closing. I'm wrapping up a lot of things. That time they try to get me out of conscious, and then what happens, I found myself, and my conscious is back. When the conscious is taken away, you wouldn't know when they take it, because there is a time gap you feel, and then suddenly you can see what you are doing. Is it what the last thing your conscious remembers that you were doing? Or your thought process is something different, so you would know those kind of details. So this torture is not getting, I cannot show it anymore, so you can prove it. So in the night when I get few times in and out before I tie myself up, and I'm sitting on a stool, because if I lean onto my sofa or something, then they would doze me off for till morning. They would burn my hands, they would burn my feet, soul, they would wring my calf, they would break my skull, they would constantly put some kind of a scintillating, pulsed energy to my brain, to my entire face. They are doing that for the last 2 days. Entire face, if there's some kind of jerking, the energy, I believe it's not good for the brain. They are doing something to the brain. That is the process, because every other part of my body I'm really tying out. But don't forget, it's just because I'm tying and I have 5 layers of stuff in between for them to hold, they still hold the heat and energy to our private parts. Our private parts are getting burnt like anything. Previously, the aluminum sheet would cover that one to block that one, but now I don't have it. What I have is a round one, and they can easily blow it up, and they are burning. So that makes you not to put your knees up. You have to squat them down. That time your private parts are burned less. So these are the few things I can report as of now. I am in India, however, I have decided that as a group, as an organization, we need to do a write-up and we need to present it to our NSA, our government. So whenever I'm going around to reach out to the public, the departments, say Department of Home and Department of Health and Family, or the court when I go, there are people who are against that. They come in front of me, they go and see the person who I want to be seeing. I know that these people came in extra because the type of the people that come from, the way that they are prepared, what it is, I know that this is just elderly person or the group, or it could be just a judge or somebody who were influencing just before I go. So I know that in India, for the US to be playing this kind of a game, judiciary, some judges have agreed with it. That is why judiciary okayed it. Just because judiciary system okayed it, our home system has taken up on it, and now it has assigned it to the execution, vertical of it, which is the police and all the other part of it. So these are the people who are trying to block this one to be coming out. But if we complain because our constitutional rights are being violated, and this something stuff is new and we can prove it, so ultimately we may have a chance to say about it. Just yesterday I also came across with an article from the person, G as in George, A as in Apple. He has complained that he has, I believe, the right to know the information kind of thing, and asked the government to all sorts of individuals who have put a complaint on such crime against American government. He has requested it, and then he went through in his video. And obviously there are a lot of people from a lot of different states of the United States of America. It's about folks have complained about NSA, about FBI, and all sorts of things are there. And the questions are very direct. And the United States is either investigating or stashed it in certain group, and it's not going any further. So, folks, I am telling you, this is not new. This is not okay. It's happening, here and there. Oh, you might have done something. No, and it's provable and stuff has been going on. With this rate, today it's us. We are targeted. Tomorrow it could be you, your children, and all that kind of stuff. My daughter is targeted. my son also, I feel some things I'm already seeing. And for my parents, they are doing. There's a talk by certain individuals, targeted individuals. They say that it might be some kind of a genetic material oriented, that and there might be some composition that we have that they don't want it to be continuing and they're doing it. Somebody says that, so I don't, at this point of time, I don't want to get into that kind of a thing, because I want to go just to show that the crimes are going on. Here is blah 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 is going on. Here is how they are doing it, and that we need to wake up. The science is already a little bit ahead. This is all military grade of targeting and torturing continuously. And they hack my computer. My mouse doesn't go the way that we want. Certain websites would not display for us. Certain website, if we display, immediately we get that click kind of a noise, and then that never comes up. And then all of a sudden there will be suspicious call for you. Hey, mom, are you using something, computer, something like that. So by the end of the day, there are a certain group of people, they are making a business out of torturing people. That's what it is. They don't want to be working like every other person, come into the society, do a business, or do a farming, or do a teaching, do some kind of a service. No, they don't want to be doing. And certain group of people, they want to control us, so they have funded the program, and they've been hiring people like say, for example, retired veterans, stuff like that, and they have been spilling money onto them. They can go to different country also, and then to control them. Recently, there's been some Canadian citizen, a lady who talked to us, and she also has a lot of insights. She has been paying private investigators to search out what's going on, how to do, and she is giving us some tips. And this is all real. With the help of private investigators, she can see who all are hacking us, what are all the different ways that they are doing. So, this is real, but we are really, really stuck into it. We cannot take it anymore. Say, for example, if I write something, one of my eyes gets a severe ache, and that time, if I know that the person is sitting in this side, he's doing it, so immediately I take my hand and cover my eye, that eye that they're poking. It will get reduced, but then yesterday I saw them that even inundating with the eye in the hand also, and again it was coming. I used the other hand to block it. So, folks, this is not game anymore. The information age has this weaponry that they can kill somebody without any trace. They can make you suffocate so much your life with physical being and with the mental being. Also, socially, like whether it's your job or your vehicle driving or any sort of your living is being happen, and that you are tortured to be painful for you, and you know the pain, but nobody else knows the pain. It's that kind of stuff. The fact that these invisible things that they can do can tell us that, how desperate this humanity is. So why is this U.S. has all these patterns to do all these tortures? Since 2001, that 9/11, there were a lot of wars before, and America apparently didn't approve of those things. And so to get them become more patriotic, they created this 9/11, and ever since a lot of stuff is going on. So our lives are so miserable, so physical ache, like they kind of like bending our finger, knuckle there, breaking our knuckle, that kind of a cruelty has been going on. This is happening to us now. It will happen to you also. Laws need to be made. There should be detectives. If we report, government should immediately come in and then should be able to find out who is doing and all that kind of crime, and they are not doing it. That means they are in it. This whole thing is to, listen to that Georgia Stone, and they are saying like population is too much. They are grown like cancers, and that this COVID is there. COVID, and there are some videos. The doctors say that this is man-made. This is not really viral-related, and that video, say for example, Dr. Stella. And then if we put that up on YouTube, YouTube doesn't upload it. Recently, one of other person said that they are trying to say something about US, it's being bad about how they do something, and that is not getting uploaded. And he sent me the link, and yes, it sure does. So, Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, these are all US's games, and they're only trying to show themselves very good and not show off the crap that they have. For every other country, they always show the negative side of ours, and they are gang-stalking the positive side of ours. There are a lot of mysterious deaths go on to the key people, and this has been going on, folks, for long, long years. RT, I think I will rest this one for today here.
Okay, so Saroja, if you don't mind, I have a few questions in regards to the stuff that you had said earlier. You had mentioned about the whole thing with your phone and your computer being hacked by these people you believe is the FBI, but you mentioned a couple of states here in America. You said Virginia was one of them, and the other one, I'm not sure where you said it was.
California. Yeah.
Are you a VPN network? Private VPN network?
I use for my work. I always work from home and where I would log into.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is, are you aware of what a private VPN network does?
No, tell me, please.
Okay, so basically what a VPN network does is it masks your true IP address, and it kind of helps you to surf the internet anonymously. And how it does this is by constantly changing the actual location of where you are. It's not always shown. It's like shuffled. It'll show like you're in Russia, then it'll flip it to like Virginia, then it'll flip it over to Malaysia, then it'll flip it over to Canada, then it'll flip it over to California, things of that nature. You get where I'm going now? Do you see my drift?
So the stalkers are using it, and that's how they are doing it?
Possibly, quite possibly is what I'm saying. That's why I asked you first if you knew what a VPN network was, because that's what people use to mask their IP address from hackers and things of that nature. You pay for it like a monthly subscription, so I wouldn't doubt that these hackers have access to those things as well and use it whenever they feel it necessary to, do what they do. You know what I mean? I just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you didn't know about that. So apparently you didn't know about that, and that was a good thing that I brought it up, because I wanted you to make sure that you were aware of that before you started thinking that, it's people from California, people from Virginia, without ruling out first if it's possible that these hackers that are over there are using a VPN network.
But then this other ping, the ping command, it gives a ping who is connected to our computer, which computer is connected to our computer. So there, that FBI, NSA, those computer IDs are turning out to be true. Why are they hacking into us? Why are they hacking into us? And all the time, that's true all the time. It's like a non-stop there, hacking is there.
Right. No, I understand where you're coming from with that, sister. What I'm telling you is that when you see it's Virginia or California, it doesn't necessarily mean it's someone that's literally in Virginia or literally in California. It could be someone right there close to you in India using a VPN network. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm saying it's a high possibility that it could be, because that's what it does. It mimics other people's IP addresses in other parts of the world. Shuffles it, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, sister. The second thing that I wanted to bring to, like your request, as far as I wanted a request from you, if it's possible, Do you mind elaborating a little bit on your meetings that you had recently where you took pictures? You had taken some pictures at your meetings with the banners for the microwave, directed energy weapons, the organized stalking. You had a few people there and you took pictures and you sent them to me. So what I wanted to let you know is that within this intro of your call that I created, it's a new intro for you with the flute in the background. I also added some pictures alongside them. One of them happens to be, well, actually two of them happens to be where you did the meetup over there in India with the locals that you usually meet up with. If you don't mind telling the story that you told me, what ended up happening out there when you tried to do the two meetups with the group of people that you were with there, where some of them backed off because the targeting was very extreme and they couldn't handle it.
Sure. So, July 31st was the day of electronic torture. No, it's like World Day against electronic torture was the July 31st. So we had a meeting, and there are people following me back and forth, and then police, so that I wouldn't come in the public and I wouldn't be doing a lot of stuff. So I was targeted, and then also they play the role of this rain also. If wherever like we want to come to the public or something, so they did heavy rain, and they did that. So in that case, though, so we went inside of the building and we took a picture. So such kind of gang stalking they do. And the August 29th is our targeted individual day. That also I wanted to, public gathering. And the police were following me because the place where I was going, many of the targeted individuals, they said agreed to meet, but then all kinds of gang stalking and targeting and torturing goes so high that they wouldn't be able to come out and they wouldn't take calls and stuff like that. And even then, another TI and I, we decided to middle place, and we didn't tell which place we are going. So the police were following me heavily. And as I was going on a two-wheeler, bicycle, like a, motor bicycle. When I got lost and when I come around, immediately I spot the police vans are going around me, coming around, a lot of them. So for that, there was one of this active targeted individual. He was supposed to come in, but then he didn't come. Just a couple. He had already told me that whenever we want to do something like this, that he wants to come with me to travel to public places. His V2K, which to skull, gets so high that they interactively talk to him, to his brain, that his brain is not free to do anything with anybody. So meaning somebody is yelling and asking and blaming and cussing, he needs to put it aside in order to listen to us, to me if I'm talking across. So it becomes very hard. Okay? And I believe artificial intelligence is involved with the V2K. It is not like somebody is sitting and doing not much. They are doing the artificial intelligence, which is based on the predictions. If the individual thinks that, this shouldn't be done this way, and there are predictions of 10 different things. The artificial intelligence, the predictions that it does, and it asks those questions. The voices are mimicked, the analysis is mimicked, the thought process is mimicked. So I think this V2K is very worse, and the artificial intelligence is involved in that. So they're constantly engaged the targeted individual that way to take them out of the society so that they wouldn't voice their voices. And all these targeted individuals, believe me, they are talented people. I mean, they don't necessarily have these crimes at all. And to me, I am challenging them. Whatever they're doing, I haven't done anything that is worth for them to be doing this. And someone also yesterday mentioned that these crimes, if they find them, even the U.S. government, they will be hanged for this, meaning this is a serious crime because they are pulling our body parts apart to see, they are torching, they are pulling. So that's kind of encourage you to hear. But so to tell you the truth, so one of the targeted individuals didn't show up for my targeted individual day, and he had his banners ready, or Indian flag ready, and all that. Come to know, just 2 days after, he is made fall out of his bike, two-wheeler bike, and that he has broken his shoulder blade, and that he has plaster, and that's what he said. And then it's all due to severe V2K. And then he was saying, "Oh my God, when severe V2K is there, one should not drive." That's what he is saying. And this is not the first accident with the TI. The other TI that who showed up to the event also had the accident. He says that if he tries to cope along with me, he gets those kind of things. So the crimes are really serious. Right now there are no detectors to find out, and these gangsters are not being caught by a government, and instead government agencies are the ones who are doing, or they have hired people up to do something like this. So okay, they're going to get us killed. Okay, they're going to get us killed, and the next generation, which is my daughter, and they're all severely affected. But this will not go that far at all. So this is very bad. We, the targeted individuals, get our mutilated every single day, every single hour, every single second. So I just want you guys to know how serious this is. Over to you, R.T.
Yes, Sistah Saroja. I have a question here from an email that was sent in regards to asking about, when you're going to do your fourth installment. And in the email, it's asking, Saroja, how is it that you know when the hijacking of your mind has taken place? How exactly do you feel it coming, or do you? Not sure what that word is. Well, I guess you can understand more or less what the question is, right, Sister?
Yes. Since we are targeted, since always the person, the hackers that are around me, they have set places where they stand. They have a number of tortures they use. It is very interactive, meaning if they are radiating my knee, and let's say I got out of my schedule, whatever I was doing, and then I cover that knee up with some kind of paper mache and then or the sticky tape, and I cover it up. Immediately, then the torture goes to the eye. Do you understand? That's how I know it's interactive and then somebody is doing it. And when they are trying to, if I cover one, they do the two. If I do the two, if they do the three. If I do the third, they go to the fourth. All sorts of things are going on. And remember, the frequent urinating is part of this game. And so when I'm trying to do something, when I go, and I'm standing at certain, like by the stove or by the sink to clean my dishes, they immediately induce that one. And when they induce, I can pinch our body parts so that I wouldn't feel, because I know that it just got induced. I just got beamed for it. And that I don't necessarily have, my bladder is not full, so I don't need to go. So if I just rub and then he induces again with extra force. And then when I am, taking out my, sorry, I have to be very graphic. I just need to clear my panty down to go, urinate, otherwise it will be in the panty. What they do is that there is another mechanism. Just at the tip of the urine, the tube, I don't have the control over. Just probably half centimeter or something, half centimeter, 1 centimeter. And that drop will definitely come out. That will be in the panty itself. So they have manipulated this body functional to torture that no matter how quick I go, how quickly I try to unwrap, before even I unwrap, I'll get the panty down. They will make sure a drop in the panty is there. And then I think all night they will do one drop. The panty is always wet. And, all night they do that kind of stuff. So to answer that question, so this is so interactive. If I'm going to go out, they manipulate our phone calls. They manipulate my emails. So they know who all I've been talking to. Because in the night when they hijack, apparently my brain goes through what all that I went through in a day like a movie. And that is what they want to capture. That's why they want to make me subconscious. And then so that they do that extraction, okay? And I know that in the day they're trying to do it. Say, suppose in the daytime I do something very serious, like I go have a meeting personally with somebody. They want to know what I want, what I did. The next minute they make me fall asleep so fast. Right away I hit the bed. Right away my body falls into the bed, and they take over and they see it, what it is, and then they release me out of it. So this is how I know that they've been okay. Now they're going to make me unconscious very soon. They're after it. Because if they give a hint, my body, all these years they've been doing it, so it knows a little bit how to get out of it. So my body tries a lot. So when they do a little dose of it, and I go through that one maybe for a few seconds to a few minutes, but then I step out of it. And then I immediately know what I was doing, what I was added, what was being blocked, how much of what I have at hand. Say, for example, I was typing something. Now all of a sudden there is a different typing, which is against my will. It tells what I don't tell. So I know that they had my subconscious type of the things that they wanted to be typed. So I get the proof what they've been doing when I'm out of it. So this is how I know this is interactive. Body itching, body piercing with energy, or holding entire my body with some kind of energy, or holding something to my head that I forget some words, or the kind of energy that they put on me, it completely blocks my body's exposure to the air for say about 2 minutes or something. That time my body perspires. It wants to. I feel suffocated and I feel humidity and all that. And I know that the fan is on, but I don't feel anything. My hair is not moving. And I take another piece of paper in front of me and I hold it in my head. And so, my goodness, that paper doesn't move. But if you just cross across there, everything else is moving around you. So, the energy is there. And also quite often they hold energy to my face. My face gets red, or now these days getting black. That also I feel is very hot immediately. Or my skull is very, very hot. Or they have stings to my skin here and there. Or like when I'm riding my two-wheeler on the good highway with, say, 60 kilometers per hour, what they do, they stop with my vehicle with the force that it wouldn't go any further. It can't stay at the... One time in the first time they did it so fast that I could have jumped out into the front of my own wheel. That happened. And now then they started that force, they made it slow down. They will do it in a slower way, but that's telling me to slow down. And also the right arm, which I use the accelerator to, that elbow side, they start pinching the energy to it. So it starts aching. They are pinching it. So this has to be done using the satellite. Nobody's calling up and doing that to me, or, there's an automated way of doing all this stuff. I think is all satellite control. And also, I'll tell you. And so now the third game is that when I'm riding the bicycle, now what I'm getting is heavy wind. I think the wind is to me only. It is like a brrr to me, and to my clothes are going out, so that I feel that it is hard, that I need to slow down. That stuff is going on. So it is interactive. And if I say something, if my thought process is there, if I try to do something, if I sit down to do something, they're constantly watching and vigorous. His eyes are there. And if I do any comment about U.S., I get stuff. So constantly, our genital parts, they're always getting hit. If this is on this side of a hitch, so that you scratch over there, that part, and then again on that side of the hitch. Okay, you will go scratch there, and then all of a sudden there's just a lot of water around the ridges, so that then it's just that you have to give up all that you are doing. You need to go wash that with water, otherwise, the scratching will be accelerated. So this could be by fungus or bacteria, whatever, however they sprayed it on you. So I have to go do. What does that mean? That means that I need to stop what I'm doing. So in a day, if I am getting interrupted ongoing like this, I know what they're interrupting. It is interactive. And then don't forget, in the meantime, then I get hit. All of a sudden my skull feels the wave of the stuff that holds it on to my head. So you cannot cover your head all the time with a paper mask, right, to stop it? So they will do it intermittently. And even if when they do it in a split second, if the mask is not right, handy at my head, I won't be able to cover it, and they will hold whatever they hold. So sometimes, yes.
Yeah, pardon me, Sister Saroja. I just wanted to let you know there's one more question, and then we could shut it down from there, because I know you got to go. I also have to go as well. We don't want to make the call longer than an hour and maybe 10 minutes at the most, like we usually do. So I'm just going to give you this final email question. This email question is basically asking, there's a video that you did when you were riding your two-wheeler, and you said that you felt out of time, like you were, whatever, let me read it. You were riding and you lost your memory for a few seconds, but it seemed like a few seconds to you, but it was longer than that. What do you think did they do to you in order for that to happen? How did they hijack your mind in a matter of seconds and then it turned into minutes? That's the question.
So obviously these are military grade tortures, so they have devices. I am not going to go explore so much, and but in the last few times, just before that happens, they do give some kind of a visual thing to me. They kind of show the lurking person where he is doing, and his device also. The picture of the device also I glanced. But for example, the Raytheon has this targeting individual torture device. If you can go and look it up, they have created this device. India also has some similar devices. They are called, one way or the other, Samyukta EC system, electronic torture system. They have them. And so I believe there might be two ways of doing it, of making me unconscious. One could be the particular frequency. If you frequency to your brain, right? There is a frequency in which your brain attains when you are deep sleeping, or when you are this. They already have figured that out. And so they directly hose at me. So my brain doesn't have to step into, okay, stage one, okay, I'm now I'm getting rested. Okay, now I'm going to go to slight sleep where I'm going to revision what all went through today, and then I'm going to deep sleep and all that, right? They have already studied that. So they directly hose, they beam at me that frequency, and my brain immediately goes into deep sleep. Remember? That's one way of doing it. Another way, like I said, they would put these neurons, they hold something where all the neurons would quickly go into that kind of a phase. So please look it up. Go on, type Raytheon's targeted individual torture, system. I have them in the pictures, and it lists away all the frequencies for all different tissues and organs, what they can use. So it's a remote action, just like how you start the TV by using a remote, whatever channel that you want to, just like that, they hack into us. And so that technology exists. That's how it happens. And how I know how long they did? Because my conscience was very up and right. And I know what was my visual when they took me out, and what was the visual when they immediately got back. Because when they get you back, what happens? Your neurons have to fire all over again. So there is some kind of a feeling that you know that, oh my God, I'm out of the place, and I come out of it. So then the last the visual was that where I was, and now while I'm writing, next visual is this one. So that means between how much longer it would have been with my, I could just estimate how long they made me off.
You answered that very well, Sister Saroja. Appreciate you for your input. I'm sure that both emails actually were answered to the best of your ability, and I happen to listen to everything you said, and it makes total scientific and logical sense to me. If you don't mind, Sister Saroja, could you repeat that website that you can search for those frequencies so people could learn how they use them to target specific body parts and vital organs within the human body with? And also the Raytheon, Ravenclaw, and those type of black ops technologies that are used against targeted individuals. Where can people that are interested in finding out more go to find that out?
I think electronic torture, the word itself, if you type and go dig into in your own countries and stuff will come out on the website. If you know the names of the systems from your country, if you type them, Wiki will have it listed. So I could send you the picture of that device, a remote device, and its internal package that came where it shows what all different bodies and body parts and tissues work with what certain frequency they have enlisted as part of its device. And that I could send you pictures, RT. Otherwise, there are some other targeted individuals, in their videos, they have presented this. That they, one lady in US, she was getting something, so she went around, figured out who was it doing, and it was a veteran who was amputated veteran. He was using it, and he was just, laughing on it, and so she showed what it is and all that. It is out there. It is out there.
Right. I totally believe you. I understand where you're coming from. I actually saw a TI rally in Sacramento, I believe, California, where they actually showed the device, the Ravenclaw, and they, pretty much detailed what it could do. So I know what you're saying, Sister Saroja, is on point. With all that being said, at this point, I'd like to ask you if you have anything else you'd like to add on to your particular call right now before I shut it down.
Yeah, just to, you talked about that California rally, right? That August 29th of this year. So one of our Indian targeted individuals was asking me, how come there were so many people they met and they rallied? How come it didn't come in the media? That was the question that one targeted individual asked me over here, and that is true. So that tells me that American government is the one who is not investigating it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that means they are part of it.
I want to clear something up really quick. I want to clear something up. It wasn't this year. It was last year. Sacramento. They didn't do one in, I don't think it was in Sacramento, California this year. I was referencing the one they did last year. 2019.
Right, but there is a Sacramento or something. What I'm saying is there are people who are involved and they're showing the proof and they're getting hurt. And this crime is very huge because it's like, amputating the people, like they are butchering our organs. So how come it is not tackled by the media as the government?
Well, that's pretty obvious why and who's involved and why they're not saying anything. We already know that. They don't want to let any of the so-called cat out of the bag, and they want to try to do damage control with the truth, and they want to discredit people and make people look crazy and delusional, and that's how they do damage control, to try to bury the truth. But that's why we're here and why we exist and why we have YouTube channels and why we do what we do, to continue exposing, educating, and continuing to put out there the truth, regardless of who wants to hear it or not, because I've already decided and dedicated my life to this cause, like you claim you have to, and other TIs as well. So we cannot stop here. We have to continue going forth no matter what. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of exposing and educating what's the awareness factor of this technology, this program, and how it runs for the most part, how they use psychological tactics and everything else in between to bring upon this whole thing to existence. What they do is they rely on people's ignorance to do what they do, because when you don't know about any of this stuff, you're like a sitting duck. You're basically vulnerable from all angles. You know what I mean? When you're not aware of this technology, of this program, of the psychological core.
Well, even if we are aware these days,
you know, you could get got that much easier. You're open to attack. You're open and susceptible to being manipulated a lot easier, as opposed to being aware of this technology, of this program's existence. Pardon me, Sister Saroja, go ahead.
So basically with this crime, they are using our own body parts against us, okay? It is like, oh my God, it is so hurtful, I don't even want this body part. That's how much they're hurting. But this game of theirs, you know, they have come this far, you know, using African Americans and getting the slavery in their blood as though they are so superior, like they deserve the services kind of thing. They have come this far by doing all that. But I'll tell you, that's not going to be true moving forward, because India does not have the same outlook as what Americans feel what they deserve, and this enslavement and all that. So I feel hopeful that this is not going to be continuing very long, and there is going to be opposition from other nations. And thus far, they didn't have, and they've been doing it, hiding it, as though we cannot prove, we are delusional. Yeah, that's not going to fly that well, and they will be opposed, and then their kingdom will demise, and other, countries which are made developing by these people's actions, controlling, the speculations and all that based on that, the currency manipulation, global currency rate manipulation and all that, they'll be successful thus far, but that's not going to continue moving forward. And pretty soon, people will start ignoring these people's action, though there are victims like us, but there are people who couldn't care less about it. So these people will have to be sitting out in their own place and thinking what they did, and their importance will not be as much anymore, regardless how much they're trying to get that number one place now. You see what I mean? So it's not going to go that far anyway. It will be opposed, and the human rights will be upheld.
Most definitely, Sister Saroja. At this point, I'd like to hand you the ending of the call, because this is your call, so you need to end it on your way, however you want to choose to end it. And then we will talk again soon. It was a good call. Definitely something that I'm sure your loyal viewers are going to look forward to when they hear it. Yeah, Sister, so I'll pass the floor over to you so you can end your call, because this is your call. It doesn't make sense that I end your call, so it's your call. You end it however you want to end it, and we'll speak soon.
Great. Thanks for all the folks who are following my channel. I have a medical background, physics background, computer background, variety of backgrounds, so I'm able to put it together. And then also I have lost everything that what I lost. Like my daughter has been manipulated and she is not with me. My son is not with me. I am divorced. My income is gone. I used to work a lot, and that has all been taken one way or the other. So I am putting up place. That is how I'm able to tell you guys. A lot of targeted individuals fail in this process. They get succumbed to one way or the other. I have given up and everything, with my education background and everything. I'm able to tell you what is so, what is true, what is not true. This is how they could have done, and this is what's going on. This is true. That confidence that I say. So this has enabled me. I'm standing up not just for myself, for many of the folks and all these technologies. In Indian history, such things existed, but they were under the control of the king, and there were always some people who came and put them in place. They were honored and they would put them in certain places, not discord and rampant. So thanks for you guys all listening. Hopefully we will rally through. Hopefully I will put the legal system in India, or I will proceed through the legal system to get the justice. Or if not, then I will do the quantitative way, like making the awareness to the public. Even if I get killed, I am ready for that. I told many people about it. I am going to be doing it, and I'm going to be convincing Indian people that American government has such intention and has been doing it, which India would never believe that anybody would go out of their way to hurt somebody. That's our culture, and that's exactly what's being used by these folks. And now they are, they're using their virtue, their respect, and going to the government level and making the deals, and then trying to sell the weapons. All kinds of stuff is going on. So I request all of the viewers to be globally aware of what's going on, know what the COVID is, know what other targeted individuals are saying. You yourself, if you are not a targeted individual, I would like you to, call up on a group of people. It could include your friends, your work, or at your own home. That's what things are going on. Please talk about it. Let people know about it. Don't let this go on like this, because your time could be next. So, please get engaged. In the age of this thing, I think in US or somebody, they want to be like number one or something. They're putting it on skateboarding China of it, but I don't think so. They're not even wanting to be number one. I want to do all these guys. No. So it's the US, and I've seen the US folks. I've seen the university people. I've seen the workers. I've seen my own bosses. This espionage crime is huge. Crime against African Americans over there in US, it's huge. So, guys, the non-targeted individuals, please get your solidarity for your nation, for our planet good, and hold the human rights high, please. Thank you. R.T.?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And
with that being said,
Okay, let's wrap it up.
yeah, exactly.
You got that, Sistah Saroja. This has been EMP1, a.k.a. Sistah Saroja and R.T.T.I. in New York City.
Coming
with her episode 4, the fourth installment. There'll be more to come. This is her series. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening upon playback, and feel free to send me emails about any questions that you would like for me to pass over to Sistah Saroja. Have a good night, stay strong, stay educated, and for the TIs out there that are going through this, keep documenting, keep exposing. Sistah Saroja, you have a good day out there, because it's, I know, morning over there. It's night for me, and I'm getting ready to shut it down. Have a good night, sister.
Thank you all.
Everything.
Thank you.